Paul, at the end of that, it's another slender defeat for your team. Did you feel you deserved something out of tonight's action?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just from the effort level that we put in tonight, it's tough because you put so much into that game and you come away with nothing. And I feel for the guys in the room. Like I said, it was an honest 60 minutes performance from our team tonight, and it would have been nice to come away with something, but we didn't. And yeah, the room's pretty down at the minute, but credit to Cardiff. Certainly the last period, there was a lot of time in that period we were hemmed in our own zone, but times keeping them to the outside, which is what we talk about, and defensively we've been good, and I think maybe for both the goals was maybe just a couple of breakdowns, but the last one was obviously a delayed penalty, so they got the extra skater out there. But overall, it was a 50-50 game. It was going both ways, and the scoreline reflected that. But to get in front 4-3, going into the last 20, you're in a good position, and we just couldn't hold on to that. Like I said, it was just it was times where we just were hemmed in, and I think you could probably see the momentum was starting to shift with Cardiff, if I'm brutally honest. But over the course of the game, I thought we put enough in to get something out.
There were a few incidents on the ice tonight. There was a prolonged sort of back and forth between Baldwin and a few of the Cardiff Devils players. How do you feel that your player Baldwin reacted to the provocation that he received?
Obviously I haven't seen it. I can't comment on it. I don't know what went on. Obviously there was something that the Cardiff guys have seen. But again, there's a time and a place, and I think we're a little bit short-staffed at the minute as well, and we're coming into a building that's tough enough to win in, and the last thing that we needed was for Cobbs to get maybe involved in any of that. So from my side, he kept his head down, and we can't afford to lose. We've got 6 defensemen at the minute. We can't afford to lose them. We were a couple of short up front. And it's a numbers game for us as well, and we've got some games coming up here, and the last thing we want to avoid is getting guys out the lineup unnecessarily.
It's been a team that's been together for a few seasons now. Do you think that your team is showing more maturity in certain situations going down the stretch? They seem to be learning year on year and digging into it further and further.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a great core. There's 5 or 6 guys that they're right up there with 5 of the 6 best players in the league, hands down. And what we've tried to do is build on that core. But the core I've got is very high end. It's very good, and that's why we've tried to keep them for these last few years and build on it as well with that, and try and add a few guys of that caliber. I think sometimes we do depend heavily on that high end of our lineup there, and it's nice to see different guys chipping in, and we had a couple of guys chip in tonight, but overall very happy with the core that I've got. But again, we're maybe lacking on a few more guys just chipping in on a nightly basis to help those guys out.
Finally then, Paul, you're coming up with 2 games against the Manchester Storm over the New Year period. If you were to get 4 points from a very tough opposition going into 2020, you're still in touching distance of that first place. Do you think you have what it takes to mount a title challenge?
Good question. I think it's a tough question to ask. It's kind of we don't get ahead of ourselves. We just worry game by game here, and that's all you can do, because obviously the teams in this league this year, they're very good, and there's no way now that you look at a fixture list and you think, oh well, you're guaranteed points here, you're guaranteed a win there, that team's going to win in here. It hasn't happened this year, and like I said, which is great for the league. But we just have to worry about Manchester. Again, we're up there on the first game on the 1st. We haven't been there this year. We know obviously it's a lot smaller ice pad than Guildford's pad, and it's a different game in there, but we have to get our system in place to go in there and try and get the 2 points in Manchester, and then we play them the following day back in Guildford. But the one thing I'll say about Manchester as well is we do pre-scouting before games, and when you watch some of Manchester's games, I felt they've been really unlucky in some of their games. I think their league position doesn't justify where they are as well. I think, again, they've got a good team, and like I said, when I've pre-scouted Manchester earlier, there's games where I thought they should have come away with points. They were unlucky not to. So we know what to expect, but we've just got to be ready every night for any team that we play. And like I said, our focus is just game by game.